Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to another video today. Today I'm going to be talking how I passed FIFA Agent Exam. So I know many of you guys are trying to write the exam and it has been challenging, and some of you it's your first time to write the exam. But sit tight, I'm going to give you guys some tips, and I'm going to be present regularly online just to give you guys few tips. And if you ask questions, I'm going to respond to your questions for those who are here. But if not, always leave a question. Always leave a question on the comment section, and I'll get back to you people as I've always done. I've been actually missing for quite some time. Not say missing. I've been quite absent for quite some time because I have a lot on my mind. Doing a lot of stuff. So, but now I'm back just to give you guys some feedback on the exam and also to prepare you guys. Some of you guys will be joining me if you meet me online, and I can help you answer some of your questions, how the exam is done or how the exam is written for most of you guys who know if I'm online. Okay, but how do I pass the exam? So you see the exam, before the exam was written in two parts. That's in a year, every year. But this time the exam is written just once, just once. So now it's even more challenging that you have to pay attention and try to write the exam as much as possible and work hard so that you can pass. So we're going to do this. We're going to be doing this every night or most evening so that it can help you. So what are we going to do? We're going to be answering most of your questions and also helping you guys prepare very well for the exam. There's also an upcoming course that is coming. So, but I'll leave that always in the comment section so that we can focus on today's topic. So the exam first, well, let's look at the bullet point. What we'll be talking. So we're talking about the FIFA Agent Exam, is how it's written. So let's look at that first. So how is it written? So it's an online exam, as you know. Before you used to write it by various, let's say, various the FIFA. That's the organization used to be your FA of your country, but now it's you used to travel to where your FA decided, but this time you are actually writing it from home, the exam. So the exam is a duration. I mean, it has duration of 60 minutes. Of course, there's always time pressure when to manage that. And also you can sit the exam from anywhere. The only thing that you need to know is that you have to have a good internet connection also on a computer. So the duration is 60 minutes and you have to be very aware. Then the number of questions of the exam is 20. These are just basic information I'm giving before I will start going into more details when it comes to the exam itself. But these are just basic things that you need to be aware. So number of questions is 20 multiple choice question. Each question has options like probably three answers or four answers here, but it's a multiple choice question that you have to multiple choice question exam that you have to make your choices. So questions also are regularly based scenario. So it's easy to make, not easy. You have to choose A, B, C, or D, or sometimes the right answer might even be A, B, and C. So that, I think that is clear. Then the next thing we'll look at is the pass mark of the exam. The pass mark of the exam is 75% to pass. That means 15 correct answers out of 20. Okay, nothing less. And I always make this point that if you, let's say, in a question, if there are three answers right and you get two and fail two, you have completely failed that question. So you have to have all the three answers right. So that's how challenging it is. Okay, I hope you forgot that. Then the next thing is it's an open book exam. So when I say it's an open book exam, it means you are the material the study materials have to be, you can take your study materials and you use, but you use it through the platform and you'll be provided with that. So you're allowed to use the official material, but of course it's also challenging. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's just going to be easy. What I mean is challenging is that because the exam, there's also time pressure in the exam. Sometimes most people don't use the material. You have to be really calm-headed to be able to use the material, because sometimes when you miss a question and you see that 1 hour, which is 60 minutes, simply going down, you start being in a rush to try to answer the exam as quick as possible, answer the rest as quick as possible. So most of the time you have to know what you're doing, and also focus on the structure so that you can be able to pass the exam. Actually, most people who have actually passed the exam have always used a structural approach. So you have to understand that the exam, it's tricky because most of the questions also are lengthy. So before you finish reading any question, it might be like 2 minutes, and understanding it might be like 2 minutes, which means you have 1 minute to make a decision. And within that 1 minute, you might be saying that, okay, you have to refer to the book. Before you open the pages of the book, you see that time has already gone. So you see how hard it is. And if the exam is, if it's a 60 minute, if it's 60 minutes and you have 20 multiple choice question, which means if you divide that, which means one question should be 3 minutes. So you see that the time there already allocated already is almost small for the exam. So you have to be very fast and knowing how to deal with time management. That's why most of the time I always advise people, you try to do a pre-exam yourself always, so that you can know how to manage your time. So what I mean by that is, sometimes before I used to write, I would just go to the platform, I put the exam on the mock questions, I try to answer within that range, and then I will follow the format that I'll apply on the exam day, using the book if I have to refer to answers, just there focusing on trying to refer to the book and everything, focusing just to pass using that format. If I do it the first time and I'm doing it for maybe 80 minutes, I know that, oh, I'm really slow, but I have to start to adapt, to keep learning the method, so that my target will be like to do it all for 50 minutes, something like that. So, but yeah, these are little things you have to really be focused on before you can get the exam. And it's also difficult because now the exam is more, it's 60 minutes, and within that 60 minutes, you have to answer every question. So most people always complain the time is short, but there's nothing you can do because FIFA is not going to change that. So you have to adapt to that as many other people. So we just have to play by the rules, and you have to understand uh, and try to be fast as possible. Okay, but let's move on. So, and the next thing here is the technical requirement. So your technical requirement, you need a personal laptop, a personal computer or a laptop. That's it. Working webcam, microphone, speaker. You need your smartphone required for second camera monitoring, because you're going to use the camera of your phone for the to be able to because the way because you're what is going to happen is, because there's an invigilator. The invigilator is like, you're going to set your phone in a position that it can see through the room, so that when they are watching you on camera, they feel that they can see. But of course, the examination center is going to guide you through this. But I'm just trying to give you how it goes, that you're going to get that your phone that you can use to try to see the whole room, so that there's no one somewhere talking to you. That's how they are trying to make it, so that they can see where you are and it's a quiet environment. And your smartphone will run always only through the FIFA exam app. So those are a little bit of tips that you can already be aware of how it's going to come around. For some of you who have written the exam already, will know already what I'm talking of. And then the exam price, of course, you're going to make mention, you're going to be notified. And some of you who have already registered the exam, because it was the registration, they started on this January, opened 20th of January, and it's going to be closed in March. So most of you guys must have already paid the fee and then ready to write the exam in April, the exam starts April 28th and 29th. And then for if there's FIFA says if there's need for more people, then they're going to do part of the exam in May also. But that doesn't mean if you write in April, you're going to write in May. No, it's just to accommodate the people that didn't write in April. So that's how it's going to be. So the remote invigilator, is a camera from your laptop that is going to supervise you. So that also is going to be set also by you with the guidance of the people setting the exam, which is FIFA, the people organizing the exam, which is FIFA. So you're going to be put through that. Okay. So now these are just few basic things. These are just few things that I was just talking about, just based on the exam settings and how to prepare. This is important that you know that you're sitting home, and these are the things that you have to provide to be able to be eligible to sit the exam. Now, when the exam also now going into the exam format. So what to know and what not to know. So first, you have to make sure that you can try to be able to, you can read like the RSTP, the FIFA agent regulation. You have to really know those two, because those carry a lot of the questions. Then now, of course, they are all parts like the FIFA statutes, the commissioning, and FIFA clearinghouse. A lot of all those things, you have to have an idea of it. So these are all things that you have to put down and try to learn yourself, so that you don't miss any chance. So I'll be here on Monday. I'll be here every time to guide you guys on what to do. So today we are starting just by saying how you can sit the exam. So the next time we will be on video, I'll always try to make sure I put the time so that you people know when I'm coming online. What will be happening is we will have various topics we will treat and how to do it. So for example, it might be next week might be how to actually pass the exam based on just study situation, on how to handle the RSTP, how to handle the FIFA agent regulation, what to do. So then we'll arrive at one point in time, we'll also be answering past questions in the exam. So how to handle past questions. So all these things we'll be handling here. We'll be doing it here before the exam kicks in, which is on the 28th of April. Then I will go now into details also for those who will be joining my course, who want to pass. I'll be teaching them a lot also, because I have a wait list that that the course will soon be out for people to register. Then I'll go also into details to teach them. We will be solving like past question, and we'll be using exam-based scenario. Let's give an example. For example, if you take a first question, how you can answer that question. But we're only going to do this after we have been handling or learning a lot of stuffs about how to pass the exam, because the main aim for me teaching or speaking to you people here is to help you pass the exam so that you can be a FIFA license agent, just like I did back then when I registered and passed. So this is the scenario, or this is the things we are going to be doing here. So if you come across this video, what you should be doing is you should try to turn on your notification, and also just prepare. For me, prepare so that when I come, then you can always know that I'm online. Then you can ask your question. I have a question. If someone wrote here, okay, I have, let's see, just hold on. I have reading the 2025 material should switch to 2026 for exam. Yes, yes, you can switch to, if you have the study material to 2026. But the thing even is that most of those materials, of course, FIFA updates some few things, but they are not going to really change that much. But if you have a chance to switch to the 2026 material, then that's perfectly okay. You can do that. Yes, you can do that. That's fine. And then because probably there will be a little bit of adjustment and everything. So that's fine. You can do that. Apart from that, Yeah, but the materials are mostly because there's not too much huge change, but there are always little changes that yes, it's good to switch to that. Okay. So before answering your question, what was I saying? So I was just talking like the way to prepare for the exam. So there's another thing that we speak of, like your focus. For example, you prepare for the exam, you get into the exam. This I notice most of the time. You get into the exam, as you arrive, you start sitting the exam and you start to write. If you have a first question, let's take for example, you have a question like, um, of course, most of the time these questions don't come, but sometimes they can also come. Let's give an example. Uh, they say something like, how long does it take the maximum duration? Uh, how long is the maximum duration to represent to sign a maximum representation with a player? The maximum duration to sign a maximum representation with a player is 2 years. It's 2 years. So, but that question wouldn't come, will not come like that. So sometimes they try to make it more tricky. They can put they can start writing with something different, very that doesn't even relate to the question. Then at the end, now they give you that. So the exam is not always straightforward as we think. It has a little bit of trick. Let's say you have to use your common sense also into the exam, because not just the book, but you have to apply also your common sense. Before I used to write, before I used to ask also, why is FIFA doing this? Because most of people sitting the exam, they haven't been agent before. So to apply the common knowledge is going to be hard. But FIFA tries to make this a little bit that when you pass the exam, when you're going to the field, you should be really, really equipped. That's why the exam is challenging. I have to say it's challenging. But if you prepare structurally, then it becomes more easy. Okay, the next, okay, thank you for all you do. I'll partner with you in the nearest future. Well, let's start by saying I wish you write the exam and everything goes well. So the first thing is just try to focus to write the exam, and then yes, start from there, because it's a process. Don't look too much far. Just focus on this. Um, in reading, writing the exam, preparing well, read a lot of read the RSTP. If you are also, I don't know if you're part of joining the course. I mean, my wait list for my course when it's available. But anyways, I'll be teaching that day. Anyways, reading RSTP, reading the FIFA agent regulation, those are things that you should be able to know a lot. And also, when there's a question and you don't know the answer, one of the things, how to learn how to use the book, how to learn how to use the key to locate your answer. So those are things that you have to be aware of how to use. So I give an example. So let's take, for example, a question came under RSTP. Most people always find it difficult in the sense that it came under RSTP. They don't even know where the RSTP is. When I was trying to write the exam, what I would do is I'll try to use a table of content. I'll be sitting on my sofa. I will have the table of content, trying to know to memorize it on my head. Let's give an example. If they say something came about on that definition, like FIFA status, I will know that okay, the FIFA status is the first page. Is it from 1 to 79? Is it from first page 1 to 79? So you start to gain idea of where you can find the information. So if they spoke of something of representation agreement, which was FIFA, which was the FIFA regulation. FIFA regulation. So I would be knowing that I would know that it's starting from page. That's back then when I wrote it. I know it will be starting from page 321 till a certain page. Or so you start to already get an idea of, if they ask a question on this, this is where I'm going to. So so we used to use the table of content a lot to just know that if a question came under RSTP, which is the longest part in the book, RSTP is, I think it used to be page like 150 to page 100 to page 250. So this is how we used to do. You just know that okay, it comes under RSTP. The first thing I go is I just go to RSTP. I look from page 150. I open to the book as quick as possible. I look at the table of content as quick as possible. Then I go to the place. So these are just little tips for that you use when you're writing the exam. So you have to already know a lot of the table of content. You have to know, you have to be able to know that if they ask something, you should, because you have read also, because you have to read the notes, you should already know that this question falls under RSTP, this question falls under FIFA clearinghouse, this question falls under FIFA agent regulation, this question falls under FIFA status, this question. So you say you start gaining idea when you start reading. When they ask a question, you know where to locate it. If you don't know the answer of head, if you know the answer of head, it's easy. But if you don't know the answer of head, then you already have an idea, a picture of where to go as quick as possible. Because as I say, each question is 3 minutes, and you can't dwell too much on one question. If not, you're not going to answer. And we all know what is the pass rate. The pass rate is not 50%. The pass rate is 75%. So which means you have to pass 15 out of 20 of the questions. And as I still repeat, one question, if it's made of 3 answers and you pass two and fail two, you have completely failed that question. This is even the most challenging part, because most times people fail the exam not because they go to probably a question that has 3 answers, they get two and they fail two. There's not something like a point. They give you some credits there. No, it's completely failed. So that's how tricky it is. But if you have, but what is at the other side is, if you focus and prepare for the exam, is very huge. So there are a lot of people in this industry that may say go on without license, but the only thing that you do is you can only be referring players to people. You cannot actually put the players on their agencies. So let's take, for example, there are people that say they're agent, but they don't have license. They don't have licenses. So when you ask them, are you a licensed agent? And no, I'm working with someone, but probably they are not working with someone. They don't have the license. So what they do is they just look for a player. They look for a player, and they take the player to give to another agent. So you're always going to be referring. And this is what happens. Probably when the player now goes to that agent, and that agent start communicating with the player has to leave you, because they know you're not going to do anything, because you are not actually an agent. You're almost more like a scout, if I might say, or so you're almost someone who don't have the legal rights to be representing them. So I would advise that it's something that you just read, focus, and try to get this. And also this time we were lucky that we used to, the time we wrote, it was twice a year. The exam was being set twice a year. And this time the exam is just once a year, which means if you write this May or April, and the result comes out in June, because it comes out in June, and you don't pass, you have to wait another year again. So each time time passes. So do what it takes to pass the exam. And I will be doing this now, from now to April, and I will try to help you people a lot. Then plus those who are also attending my course, the course I'll be teaching, that starts in April. That starts on April 7th. It will run to April 21st. So what we'll be doing in the course is we'll try to answer most questions, give you a structure on how to pass the exam, and also a summary of the complete book, because I actually have summarized a summary of the complete book on what to do about the exam. So question, please, how much is your class? Well, if you're on the listen, it will be everything will still be available by the people creating the course. So we are still talking about that. So there's not a fixed price now yet, but I'm not really in charge of that. There are people creating the course for that. I'm just the agent trying to speak and pass the message to people, because I'm the one with the knowledge. But there are people who are dedicated for that. So I would say when you join the waiting list, and in about few weeks, I think it will be open. Then you can join the course. So, but also it's something that because we are trying to also limit the amount of people, we don't want so many people because we don't want, I don't want to probably go teaching a class of about 100 people. Let's take, for example, like that. So let's say if we do 50, which is, there are many already joined today. If we do 50 to 70, that will be okay. But 100 people probably will be just too much. And so that's why we created a waiting list so that at least those interested, the first people, then before the list short closes, at least we'll be talking to those people. Unfortunately, that's how it happened. It has to happen so that we don't have so many people. We don't come up with a situation you have probably 100 students and you cannot really serve them regularly. That's the idea. But yeah, if you join, as to answer your question, if you join the waiting list, sooner or later you're going to uh, know what the price of the course and the structure of the course and everything. Okay, just to continue again. So this is the format that you have to do concerning the exam. It's quite helpful that you have a structure and already a picture in your mind how the exam goes, because it's quite. Let's take for example, if you write the exam going in without no structure, it becomes challenging for you because you have no clue. So what we are doing is trying to give you a picture already of what is going to happen so that you already start to imagine the scenario. Okay. So yes, that's it for this video. Tomorrow, or let's say if I'll be online tomorrow, I'm going to let you people know by already. So turn on all your notification. If you watch this video, the only thing I can tell you is turn on your notification so that each time I am coming online between 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Eastern European time. I live in Finland, so we have different time we have different time. So you might be in Africa, someone might be in Asia, another person in Europe. So we have different time interval. So just try to turn on your notification. That's the only way I can tell you. I'm always on LinkedIn, but I think most of you people are not always on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn, also giving advice to people. But I think most of you people, we can communicate on YouTube. I don't want to say you should go on LinkedIn because I'm always on LinkedIn. We can meet here. So I will try as much to be present regularly this time, because I know a lot of people have contacted me, sent me a lot of messages, emails saying that they are writing the exam, they would like to join the course. So can I come back on YouTube? Because I was a little bit not frequent a lot on YouTube because I'm an agent. I do sometimes travel a lot. Like I go to Denmark. Sometime last time I was in Denmark. Before I was in Norway. So scouting players, speaking to sporting directors, CEOs. There's a lot I do. So that's why I've also been missing, not really being online. Of course, I like to be here to share the knowledge with you people, but sometimes my schedule also is quite tight that I need to attend to other needs. But now I'm here, so we should make use of this time, and hopefully I stay more long. And if you always need a question, leave it in the comment section. I try as much as possible when I have free time, not free time, to go through always my YouTube and see the comments that people write, so that I can engage with them. Because sometimes when you write those comments, there are those comments that actually bring me also say tell me that okay, I have to come back and start posting also online so that it can help you people. And question, I just joined the waiting list. I just joined the waiting list. Okay, good. With time you'll be notified. What's your LinkedIn? What's my LinkedIn? Okay, my LinkedIn is Brian Gaucho. Probably I'm going to write it. What I'll do is, let's see. Let me try to put the link, my LinkedIn link, so that you hold on a second. Let's see. Mm, mm, mhm. Okay. So I'm just going to send you the link so that you can find me more. So there, that's my YouTube link. If you click on that link, you're going to find me there through LinkedIn. And most of the time, I'm sharing information to people how, of course, what most of the time is when people who have passed the exam. I'm always on LinkedIn. People who have passed the exam, then I'm giving them ideas how to network with clubs, how to contact, how to be able to sell their players to clubs, to football clubs. With my experience, because I move around, I interview CEOs of football clubs. Like as I said last time, I was in Norway speaking to club, like I don't know, most of you people know the clubs in Norway, but the Norwegian league is quite huge. One of the upcoming leagues in Scandinavia. I think, yes, of course, I think you people should know because there's Bodo Glimt who plays in the Champions League. There are a lot of clubs now in Norway doing well, and the Scandinavian market is quite high this time. So especially Norway. Norway is like one of the most fast growing league in Europe now. You have Bodo Glimt constantly competing in the Champions League, and even recently they beat Manchester City. Was it 2-0 or I don't know the scores, but yes, recently they beat Manchester City. So it's quite a uh, good league also. So I go there. I was there speaking to CEOs, sporting directors of clubs there. So most of these things, when I come back, when I have time, I try to share it also on YouTube so that or LinkedIn, or my LinkedIn in particular. But it will also be nice for me to share it on YouTube so that I give you people the knowledge of what is going on, so that because a big part of the FIFA agent exam is not just always to, when you pass the exam, there's also another huge thing, which is now how do you start to network with clubs? That's where it starts, because a lot of agents have licenses, because this is the first hurdle to pass. When you pass the exam, the next thing is also how to network with clubs, because you imagine the sports directors, they receive hundreds of messages. They don't want to be answering anyone's message until they know you. So you have to learn how to build trust with clubs, how to network with clubs, and then you can start selling your players to them. There's no way, because there's always this feeling, when you get your license, the first thing is you think you're just going to wake up and just send a message to a football club, for example, a professional football club, and say, hey, hello, my name is this. I'm a new FIFA agent. I just recently passed the exam. I have these players. If you're interested in this player, in players like this, you contact me. Many of us thought like that, and many people think like that. But what you start to discover is that, you cannot access those people very well. So I try to teach a lot of people on LinkedIn, because when I also started, it was challenging. But I took it to myself and said, if I can pass the exam, then, and I live in a place that that I have access to traveling, like going to Norway, Denmark. So I try to go and speak to the people and know what is required to be able to get in touch with them. So most of the time I share the ideas on LinkedIn. I don't really frequent share. I'm not really frequent sharing the ideas on YouTube, as I said. But with time, I will be sharing the ideas on YouTube also. I think I just need to be more present. With time, I will share the ideas on YouTube. And why not even do it with a video, a podcast, or a YouTube video with the people also. So, but that's with time, because there's a lot of things, moving parts that need to be put in place, that when I'm traveling, for example, to Norway to interview a CEO or interview a sporting director on how transfers or whatsoever things are happening, how it can go. Uh, so there's still a lot of things to go for me to start doing that, because now I'm still doing a lot of things. But with time, yes, I'm going to provide you all those information on YouTube. What the sporting director, like going to a football club, like going to interview a sporting director, so that you can have an idea of how a transfer goes and how everything happens. That will be the next step also, to do those things. But well, I think those who watch the video, I think you will get a lot of information for this. So tomorrow, let's see how it goes. I'll be online probably same time, between 9 and 10. But of course, turn on your notification so that you can see when I'm online. And then when you come, if you have any question, always prepare your questions. If you have any questions, you can always prepare your questions and put it through the chat as your friend put it, and then I'm going to be able to respond to them. What is your LinkedIn handle? Just wait. Please, okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay, this was an old question. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today. So we talk again, or I'll be back again tomorrow to help you people. Okay. Take care and bye for now. Cheers.